I think India is in a bit of a dilemma.
That the Israel and Americans succeeded in killing and assassinating Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
That not only have we failed to condemn, commiserate the death or the assassination of the Iranian president, we've also not uttered a word of sympathy for the 70-odd minor children killed.
Hello and welcome. You're watching me, Sanket Upadhyay, on The Federal. The show is called AI with Sanket because news in India today requires not artificial but analytical intelligence. That's what this AI stands for. We saw that there was a massive attack on Iran by Israel and America. We also know that the Israel and Americans succeeded in killing and assassinating Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. We saw statements from across the world, some celebrating this killing and others in mourning, condemning this act. But one country which was conspicuous by its silence was India. We issued a statement on the condition of Indians and how they must take care of themselves. Welcome statement. We issued a statement where we stood in solidarity with countries in the Gulf, for instance, the UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, where Iranian missiles attacked American and Israeli bases. Welcome statement. We also saw statements from India supporting Israel. Again, welcome statement. But there was no statement condemning the killing of the supreme leader of Iran by India. In a situation like this now, we have the tallest leader of the opposition, Sonia Gandhi, writing a letter, writing an article, an opinion piece in the Indian Express today, where she says that this is no way of becoming the leader of the global South. This is not neutrality, this is abdication of responsibility. So why exactly did India not take a position at all on the killing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei? Is this a strong shift of Indian foreign policy and a clear polarizing division between the Congress's foreign policy and the BJP's foreign policy? Something, by the way, which has never been so stark in Indian foreign policy history. How should this be read? We discuss. All right, joining us right now is Ambassador Meera Shankar. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. This flare-up, this war is in the news continuously, but along the sidelines, there is a conversation domestically as well on whether India should have condemned the killing of Iran's supreme leader. As a diplomat, former diplomat yourself, ma'am, I wanted to know what your view is vis-a-vis a country choosing to respond to a situation like this.
Look, quite frankly, it is against the UN Charter, which basically has a clause emphasizing that there has to be respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of nations. And clearly then, the choice of political leadership remains with the country concerned and should remain. This is a new phenomenon that we are seeing. Earlier there were covert overthrows of individual leaders, governments who did not endear themselves to the US or the West for a variety of reasons. But this embrace of assassinations, not just one, but leadership assassinations as part of open military strategy is something new that we are seeing. So it is something which is a violation of the UN Charter.
Yes, Ambassador Meera Shankar, while you say that this is a violation of the UN Charter, United States, country where you have served as the Indian ambassador, seems to be facing this accusation over and over again since history of illegal invasions, and that is the case which is being made by Iran, by China, and by Russia as well. However, India is conspicuous by its silence. So I want to know how you read this.
I think India is in a bit of a dilemma because, on the one hand, you have these principles of international law and international relations and our relationship with Iran, which has been historical. On the other hand, we have now a special strategic partnership with Israel. We have good relations with other countries in the Gulf, including UAE, Saudi Arabia, and so on. So I think for India, the government is trying to avoid perhaps giving offense, let me put it like that. Without taking a view, they are trying to avoid giving offense and emphasizing the need for dialogue, to resolve this situation.
Ambassador Shankar, I don't mean to draw you into a political battle, but just want your opinion on a certain opinion which has been addressed. For instance, in today's Indian Express, there is an opinion piece by senior Congress leader Sonia Gandhi, and she says that when a country such as India, which is aspiring to be the leader of the global South, if this country does not take a position and does not condemn an act of aggression by the United States, then the government's silence on killing of Iran leader is not neutral, it's abdication. And then how do you expect to position yourself as the leader of the global South? From just a diplomatic point of view and foreign affairs point of view, not the politics, Ambassador Shankar, what is your view?
I think we're also balancing between Russia and the US, having avoided condemning the Russian military operation in Ukraine and urging resolution through dialogue and negotiations. I think we're adopting a somewhat similar position with regard to what is happening now in the Gulf and in Iran. But yes, there can be a view that India should stand for some principles.
And you do feel that given these principles, India must take a position withstanding the pressure that, I'm sure there must be various pressures at all points of time. When you were ambassador, I'm sure you would have also withstood some sort of international pressure, geopolitical pressure. But countries have to take their positions, keeping these pressures in mind, at the same time, principles in mind.
Yes, I think we have to harmonize between our interests and our principles. It's a difficult task. It can be quite delicate, but I think it's important.
So should India take a position on Khamenei, at least issue a statement by condemning what has happened or not? Now, this is a political statement which has been made by the opposition, but let's deal with the politics as well as international relations, both these aspects. I have with me Mr. Javed Ansari, senior journalist, and Dr. Zakir Hussain, who's a Middle East expert. Thank you very much to you, gentlemen. I'll begin with you, Javed Saab, first. This article which has been written by Sonia Gandhi of the Congress Party in the Indian Express, where she feels that now India should not, if you can't take a position against an invasion and a killing, then it is very difficult for you to position yourself as the leader of the global South, because people will question the silence. She says that this is abdication. I want to know your views.
Well, India has clearly shown its position. India has clearly tilted in favor of Israel. Our dear Prime Minister went there a week ago. And he said that we stand unequivocally behind you. We are with you. He described Israel as the fatherland. I mean, I don't know where that analogy came from. Israel, fatherland, India, motherland. And it has given rise to all kinds of connotations and memes, etc. But anyway, be that as it may, he's taken that position. I can understand that India needs to balance. India needs to keep in mind that there are lakhs of Indians, millions of Indians across the Gulf. They're working there, they're living there. Dubai and Jeddah and Riyadh and Qatar, etc., are home to them. They remit millions of dollars worth of foreign exchange. So that's critical. Their welfare, their well-being should be. But India also has a position. That doesn't mean that you tilt totally in favor of Israel and you become absolutely silent, blind or deaf to what is happening in Iran. After all, at the end, let's not forget the head of a state has been assassinated. If this cannot prompt us to take a position, then what else will? I mean, if we are scared or if we are shy of taking a position, categorical position on this, then I mean, this is not neutrality by any yardstick. This is surrender.
Dr. Zakir Hussain, what is your view? Do you feel that this will mark a clear, hard tilt in India's foreign policy vis-a-vis Iran? We have seen that what India has tried to do is dehyphenate Iran from the rest of the Gulf, because India did issue a statement on the attacks which took place in UAE, in Saudi Arabia, where there are very many Indians as compared to Iran. But we haven't spoken about the killing of the Iran's supreme leader. So how do you view this? Do you see this as a change or a nuanced strategy?
This is a change. There is no rhyme and reason to believe that will India do? India has done. India has changed its policies. When it returns, we have to see in what condition it will return to its old policy of equibalancing. Before this government, 2014, if we say that this government has started gradually tilting towards a new world orders, supporting and following them, and giving up the old Cold War mentality, which they say as prevailing and pushing Indian foreign policy nowhere and just winning enmity. And India has clearly followed the lines of European countries, which also not condemned or not said a single word in favor of Khamenei, the grand leader, the leader of 360 million people whom he represents. So there should be no hesitation. But I feel that the new government has given a very sharp division in foreign policy. This is your foreign policy, Congress and others, and this is my foreign policy. I live in my world, and you live in your world. When you come to power, you revive your own world. I live in my world during my power. Its baggage will come. And there are many consequences of this, why this has been done.
Would you like to tell us, Dr. Hussain, what is the consequence that you are talking about of this policy change, which you feel this is very much a change, not a deviation, but a change? What are the consequences?
2-3 consequences I just highlight here. India thinks that Iranian government, the current regime is a short-lived, it will go, and a pro-US, pro-Israel government will come. There is no need to worry about this then. In that scenario, we will have a good relation. Second, India also thinks that Arab countries and Israel and USA are still very close and hand to glove. There is no need to sacrifice all the things for single one country, that is Iran. Third, we all know that in South Asia, Afghan policy, we have gone to Afghan policy, and during visit, Netanyahu has also announced a package for Taliban government. So we think that India, Taliban, Gulf countries, GCC countries, and Israel are sufficient to manage the West Asia and South Asian politics, geopolitics, whatever. Third, that what I feel that India is now no more interested, the new India, Modi government's India, is now no more interested in maintaining Iran as a connectivity hub. It is not interested in Chabahar, the way it has taken it, and it is more interested in pursuing and developing the IMEC Plus, which includes Latin America, African countries, all these countries, and Asia, to make another transit route parallel to Chabahar, and there is no need for Chabahar. I am not criticizing the government, to be very honest. The government has a different outlook for new world order. So in that, India is trying to fit in how India can maximize its national interest.
Javed Saab, quickly coming back to you and addressing this from a local political point of view. In a country where 80-20 narratives are made, where words like Maulana and Mullah are used in the Northeast by a chief minister, if that is the brand of politics, do you feel that this new brand of foreign policy works in domestic politics too? I mean, it's a very predictable line which the central government seems to be taking vis-a-vis foreign policy, and a predictable line that the opposition seems to be taking.
Well, I cannot deny the political undertones to this. The BJP, even when it was not in power, always tilted in favor of Israel. The BJP believes that Israel is much closer to its worldview than the Arab countries. In this case, of course, there are a host of Arab countries also which are aligned the other way, which are aligned against Iran. So what is most glaring is that not only have we failed to condemn, commiserate the death or the assassination of the Iranian president, we've also not uttered a word of sympathy for the 70-odd minor children, schoolgirls killed in that bombing on the first day. A primary school was bombed where 70 children have been massacred. Not a word. In Botswana, if two cyclists collide, the Prime Minister commiserates. He's the first to tweet. I'm just giving you, in a manner of speaking. Here the signing is deafening. The silence is absolutely deafening. And it's not an accident. It's a well thought out policy. India has clearly defined its position. They are not stating it in as many words, but going forward, this is clear. India has a strategic alliance with Israel. Israel has been supplying a lot of weapons to us. The Prime Minister, and if Mr. Netanyahu is to be believed, then a lot has transpired which cannot be made public. So obviously, India's position under the present dispensation is abundantly clear. You don't even have to read between the lines. It's there staring at us in the face.
Dr. Zakir Hussain, in the article written by Sonia Gandhi, of course, I'm not going to ask you a political question, just your understanding of how this is going to shape out vis-a-vis foreign policy. She argues that for a country which wants to be the leader of the global south, this will be an embarrassing turn of events, because the global south may then turn around and say that if you cannot even condemn an act of aggression, then how will you position yourself as a leader of the global south? Now, I want to know your assessment on what this silence means for India's claim to be the leader of the global south.
Two things I want to say. That first, it is the right of opposition party to raise such question, because when we are going away from our historical norms, Palestinians and others fought with us together for colonial period. We are going away from Gandhian, Nehruvian and non-alignment policy. We have to understand this very clearly. And when they come back to power, they may reverse this policy. Second, that talking about global power, global south, we think that we are also thinking in the same line as USA and European countries are thinking. Means power determines everything, resource determines everything, financial aid determines everything. Global South has no standing, no power, no influence. They have been repeatedly voting in United Nations in favor of Palestine. But how they have been received. 72,000 children, people are killed in Gaza, and hundreds of resolutions are, maybe dozens of resolutions have been passed in majority with the global South, but nothing happened. So this India has read very well in the line of West and US that global South is nothing. It is just only a collection of countries which does not have any power and voice. India broke this. When India got independence, it established non-alignment platform. It said that neither US nor Russia, I will represent a third line, and I will not be alone. Many countries who are not heard, I will represent them, I will sit with them. But now India thinks that the world order has changed. Technology, money, brute force, all these are deciding, and these are what we can say that helots, they should not be listened. And I'm not criticizing. In fact, this is a line of thinking. And if it is successful, it is good for the nation. If it is not successful, the nation will pay, and some will come forward and correct it. What India thinks that power is more important. Power will save us. But if we look at Iran currently, America also approached to Iran with the same sentiments, bringing 50% of all its armaments, armada and all this. And it thought that it will destroy in one sorties of Iranian establishment. But now what is happening? Within its own country, there are voices are started raising that Trump is again pushing America into the quagmire where it lost its economic power, and that is affecting its military power. And the countries like China and Russia has re-emerged, and they are facing formidable enemies. So I don't know what will happen to us, how far we are going to there. What I also feel that what are the challenges which force us to do like this? Whether only domestic policy or foreign policy that is more imposing on us from China and its allies in South Asia, growing footprints of China in South Asia. These are various issues which has perplexed this government, especially foreign minister and others, to go and choose a new line of diplomacy. How far it is longer. And one thing I also want to say that Israel is not an independent country. It will survive till US remains superpower. The moment America loses its preponderance or hegemony, Israel will be rolled back because it is a colonial outpost through which it is controlling the region. And once America is gone, all the protective shields to the authoritarian regimes, monarchies will also gone. People will take over their countries, and these people either they will run away or they will meet their fates.
Well, then obviously foreign policy of various countries, including India, and their outlook may also change in a situation like this.
Yeah,
but thank you.
That is a nightmare. What will happen then?
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this broadcast. We'll see you again. Stay with us.